mode.
Hey, welcome Platinum members. Glad you made time to jump on the webinar today with Craig and myself. It was funny because we were just chit-chatting in the pre-conference about the topic of today's webinar, and just to get everybody on the same page here, the topic of today's webinar primarily has to do with working on your business. You know that Craig and I do these webinars together for the most part the first Thursday of every month. For Platinum members, exclusively for Platinum members, and we try to drill down and really focus on one of the 5 rainmaking activities, and just for reference, I'll go ahead and run through those real quick. That's cherry picking the leads, cherry picking the appointments, working on your business, recruiting, and training your team. That's the big 5 here that we really would wish that you guys focus on. As a matter of fact, the better you are at focusing on those 5, the faster, fatter your business will grow. And we've been able to prove that now for many years, and our top members are really the best at doing just those things. So today, though, we're going to talk about getting more business, primarily more listings, and top 2 ways to do that. So, and we were discussing Craig. Welcome, Mr. Proctor. How you doing today?
Welcome. Glad to be here.
Yeah. So we were having some fun with that in the pre-conference by saying, okay, let's go ahead and tell everybody to order their magnets and their notepads, and sponsor the local ball team, and make sure you get the calendars in January, the pumpkins and around Thanksgiving, and the list goes on as far as traditional marketing goes. Oh, cold calling, door knocking, and of course open houses. So we're done. We can wrap up the webinar now.
Yeah, that's what we're taught, right? That's we find it funny now, but the truth is Todd and I did most of that at the beginning of our career because we thought that's what we're supposed to do. You see, we're all aware of the money pyramid in real estate. That's a good PowerPoint. Have I sent you that PowerPoint?
Yeah.
The money pyramid. Okay. I don't know if you've got that. You can flash it up there, but it's pretty revealing. And if you look at the money pyramid, very few realtors have financial success and actually become rich from selling real estate. It's just the truth. 95% of realtors struggle, and many of them are rowing in the same boat after 10 or 20 years in real estate because they're doing what everybody else is doing. And we're led to believe it is the thing to do, and because when you get into real estate, you see a few people actually successfully doing that thing, you're led to believe it is the thing to do. And you do it that way, and what happens is you work a lot and you don't make much money. And then they tell you to work harder. And that is the old school recipe for success. That is their formula. Do the same old stuff, but do it harder. Okay, try harder, work longer hours, and we all know what's wrong with that strategy. Eventually, you run out of time, and there's only so much you can do. So, the program's all about leverage, and a great point of leverage, a great rainmaker activity is own the listings. Now, Todd, when you and I started in real estate, there was no buyer agency, so it was a no-brainer. I remember in our office we had 2 big posters in the boardroom. One said, you have to list to last. The other one said, buyers are liars. And that stuck with me. And, of course, I wanted to get paid, compensated for the time I spent. So I, like many of us, realized very early in my career, it's the listings. When you get the listings, everyone else in your marketplace works for you. And right now, the way the marketplace is, listings are scarce. So we want to go after listings. Everyone wants listings, right? I don't think there's any of you that would say, well, I prefer buyers. Maybe a few of you, but they're far and few between. 99% of realtors I've ever spoken with, Todd, say, I want listings. That's my focus. Because they understand that when you have the listings, the buyers will take care of themselves. So we're going to talk today about how to do that, how to generate the listing leads, and then convince the seller that the seller should pick you versus anybody else. The strategies that we're going to talk about will enable you pretty much to sell in a vacuum. I mean, that's really what we want to do. We do not want to operate in a highly competitive environment. So when you do all the old school stuff, that's another problem, is you're operating in a highly competitive environment. You're one of 10 or 20 realtors calling the FSBO or expired home seller, or you're just another realtor cold calling the neighborhood, okay, or sending out flower seeds or fridge magnets or imprinted ice scrapers. So let's talk about how to dominate a marketplace, Todd. Let's talk about, let's say, here's what we're going to do. Todd Walters is dropped into a foreign marketplace, okay? We take you out of Atlanta, we blindfold you, we stick you in an airplane and with a parachute, hopefully, and we push you out of the plane at 10,000 square feet, and you randomly end up in some other different marketplace, okay? And you don't have much money. What would you do? You know, that's really the question, is what would you do? And here's what I know is you already know what to do because you figured it out. And that's why people that are wealthy can go bankrupt and then become billionaires again very quickly because they understand the formula, right? You take a look at Donald Trump and many people who have become really wealthy and lost everything. What you'll notice is it doesn't take them long to become really wealthy again because they know the formula. And because, Todd, you know the formula, you can teach people the formula. That's the difference between Todd and a lot of these other trainers. The other trainers don't know the formula. If they knew the formula, they would have had the formula working for them. They were never successful at real estate. They may teach people how to be successful, but you've got to figure if they knew how to do it, they probably would have done it when they were a realtor. So lots of people running around telling realtors how to do what they've never figured out how to do. So, you know, it pays to be very cautious as to where you get your advice. So, Todd, let's get you in the airplane. You're strapped up. You got the parachute on. Boom. We randomly push you out of the plane at 10,000 square feet. Poof, the parachute goes up, and you land, and you're a new realtor in that marketplace. What are you going to do to become the dominant realtor? Give us some ideas.
All right. Well, there are two things, okay, and that really gets drilled down to what we're talking about today, and this is what I've learned from you. There are primarily two groups of seller prospects in any marketplace, whether it's slow or fast. Okay, there are those people who are ready to list their home now, predisposed to doing something sooner, you know, what we would call now business. And there are those who are seller prospects, but they're primarily considering a move further down the road. Okay, operating or going solely after the sellers who are ready to do something right now, I'm going to understand that, especially if I'm being parachuted into a new market, there are already real estate agents who have relationships. They're already marketing, good or bad, to particular sellers in this marketplace. So if I'm going to go after the now business, I better have superior marketing. So, and that would start with answering the question of why. Like, why would the sellers choose to do business with me over and above anybody else or any other option? And you know what? That may be a tough thing to answer from a statistical point of view if I'm new to the marketplace. If I'm established and I've been around a while, I can answer that question because my stats are going to be better and I can leverage my track record and tell a better story and all that sort of thing. But make no mistake about it, there must be a reason why, and it must be superior to the other agents that are going after that business in the marketplace now. Hence a unique selling proposition. So the better I am at telling my story, why the seller should choose to do business with me over and above anybody else or any other option, will pretty much dictate how much market share I can grab hold of from the sellers that are considering selling their home now sooner rather than later. Okay, so that's generally, and we'll drill down on that, I think, Craig, here momentarily, but that would be approach number one for that group. And
you know, Todd, when we talk about promoting your unique selling proposition, immediately many of our members think, well, gee, that's really expensive. I'm going to have to run great big full-page ads and radio and television commercials. How about this? How about just changing the words that come out of your mouth? So, like, if you were in a brand new marketplace, you had no money at all for marketing, and you were forced to do the traditional things like, I don't know, knock on doors or chase for sale by owners and expired listings, at least if you knew what to say to prospects you meet with to immediately set yourself apart from everybody else, it gives you a great head start. So it doesn't cost you any money to promote your unique selling proposition with the words that come out of your mouth. The better the words, the better you're going to do. And that's a great starting point. So I know some of you are better than others when it comes to what you say on the telephone to prospective buyers and sellers.
Oh, I had to unmute there, but yeah, I think it starts there. So one of the things I do when I get on the phone with the Platinum Program member, especially for the first time, we've got some newer members on today's webinar. I say, hey, where did your last 5 closings come from? And this is a great exercise, by the way, for veteran members as well as new members. Like, where is your business coming from? Where did your last 5 closings, your last 10 closings come from? And that's very revealing. Okay, because many of us are spending money, doing things, trying to get business from different areas and places. But if you really look at where your business is coming from, you may decide to allocate funds differently or put more money or time into something else. So I'd recommend everybody do that. But when I ask
just to interrupt for 1 second, it's amazing to me that realtors will continually spend money on something that they know doesn't work. I've had this conversation with many of our members, and I'll ask them, okay, well, what are you doing right now? Well, I do this and this and this and this, and we talk about each one specifically, and I'll say, okay, well, what do you spend on this? I spend X amount of dollars. Well, how does it work? Well, it doesn't work. Well, how long have you been doing it? Oh, about 2 years. I see, that doesn't make sense to me. Whether it's an online campaign or prints or whatever, to continue doing things that don't work just doesn't make sense. And I think we become used to that, really, in this industry, because that's the way it's been for so long for many realtors. They continually do things that don't work, that they become okay with that. The other thing you constantly want to challenge is, well, just because something's working doesn't mean you can't make it work better. And our best members, the most successful members, are the members that are continually challenging what they're doing to figure out if there's a better way to do the thing. Like, can I make this ad even better than it is? And then I would say the third mistake is, and this is a really kind of comical but not comical mistake, is they stop doing things that work. And you've seen that before, Todd. Where you talk to a member and they'll say, well, the best ad I ever ran was this ad. And you go, what do you mean was? Well, I don't do it anymore. And you ask them, well, why don't you do it anymore? And they really don't know. Like, they've got a look of surprise on their face, like they just realized, you're right. I was running something that worked really well, and I stopped it mostly because I got bored of my own advertising. So sometimes we're guilty of that. We get tired of our advertising before the public does, and we stop doing things that actually work.
Yes, I don't get why that happens. Now that we're kind of off on that subject here just momentarily, it's I'll give and Nathan doesn't mind me using this example, but I remember talking to Nathan, and he had just rolled out this is Nathan Clark up in New England. He had just rolled out his radio marketing and advertising, and it was going really well for him. He was getting a lot of new business, new listings, and a lot of come listings, and he sent me an email that was really interesting. He said, oh my gosh, I'm on track to do this and that, and it sounded really good. And so I picked up the phone and called him. I said, wow, man, you're going to double your business, maybe even triple it as a result of that. And he said, no, we might only increase it by about 35%. I was like, dude, how can you double or triple the amount of listings that you're getting and not in effect double or triple your business? How can you only have a 25 or 35% increase in business here? You've stopped doing something that you were doing. So let's stop. Before radio come along, you were making X number of dollars. Where was that business coming from? And he had to think about it, and what he realized is he had actually stopped running some simple little ads in these local penny saver magazines that he was running up there in Rhode Island. He had stopped doing it, and it made him about $250,000 in commissions the previous year. And he quit doing it altogether. And I said, well, what'd you stop doing that for? And he was like, well, I don't know. So you're right about that. The key element here is that once you stumble onto or figure out or implement or come up with or copy one of our marketing systems that really works and it makes you money, The rainmaker's is to keep that plate spinning, get it growing northward, while simultaneously implementing another marketing system and getting it growing northward. So I don't know why that's so challenging for people to do, Craig, but it is, and it's the same with all businesses. It seems like they hop from one marketing system to another. And so here's a good case in point on the subject today. Back in the 1994, when I ran my first editorial ad, I'm sorry, it was 1995, when I ran my first editorial ads, I was already really busy. Okay, the Quantum Leap system I had gotten from you, and the conference that I had been to with you, I was implementing many of those strategies, primarily unique selling propositions, performance guarantee marketing, and that sort of thing. And I'm getting the message out there in my marketplace, and my business is just taking off. So I started running these editorial ads that you had rolled out at that time, and instantly leads were coming in, and I just watched them come in. Like, I can't even pick up the phone and call these leads. So I asked you what to do. You said hire an agent to call back these leads and book appointments for you and other people. So I was like, okay. So that's what I did. That new marketing system required more people that I didn't have on my team. Now, what a lot of agents do is when they roll out a new marketing system, they just shuffle off their plate the things that they're already doing that's working pretty well to make room for the new thing, and they only get incremental gains as a result of that instead of a quantum leap. So what we're prescribing today will get you a quantum leap versus an incremental gain. Now, Craig, what is your definition of a quantum leap?
Well, it's not, going from 30 transactions to 40 transactions. I believe that we can get 10 times more results with half the effort. That's a quantum leap. So when I am able to go from working 80 hours a week, selling 40 transactions, to working less than 40 hours a week and sell over 400 transactions, that's a quantum leap. Okay, 10 times more results with half the effort. Most realtors, if they get any gain at all, and most of them don't, by the way, for most realtors, their business looks like this. They work the 80 hours a week, and every year they get pretty much the same production, give or take, plus or minus 5%. Mm-hmm. And those realtors that get incremental gains do it at high lifestyle cost. So the realtor that's doing 40 transactions goes up to 50, but instead of working 50 hours a week, now they're working 80 hours a week. It's not worth the trade, right?
No.
I mean, I'd rather take the 40 transactions a week working 50 hours than 80 transactions working 80 hours.
Amen, brother.
and who can keep that up anyway? See, this is important that we think about our exit strategy, right? There's going to be someday. Just want to remind everybody, there'll be someday you're going to wake up, you don't want to do this anymore. Some of you are saying that day is already here, right? But there's going to be a day when you don't want to do this. So you got to be thinking of in terms of what is your exit strategy. Okay, so it's all about leverage, lead generation first, figure out how to get the customers in, and then you think about how to get the work done without you.
Well, let's take a look in a little bit closely at this, getting now business. So, like I've been typing some notes here as we're talking, and this whole USP marketing formula to go after these seller prospects out there in our marketplace. And we'll make some assumptions that, most of our agents are pretty established, but when you, I know what it was. Let me see if I can bring that up here. We were looking.
One of the best ads I ever ran to get totally desperate sellers or people that really wanted to sell right away is an ad that said guaranteed cash offer for your home in 24 hours. Okay, the guaranteed sale program without a time period. Instead of your home sold in 120 days or I'll buy it, how about your home sold guaranteed or I'll buy it? Okay, marketing to expired home sellers. Usually these people are tired out. I mean, the best time to get a home seller is the second or third time, right? It's even better than the first time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, way better.
How about running an ad that says 11 things you need to know to pass your home inspection weeks before listing your home for sale? Or you could run the costly home seller editorial ad. It says 7 costly home seller mistakes to avoid when selling your home this spring. Selling your home before listing your home in June.
Let me pull up this now. We've looked at this car. Here we go. All right, so in helping Platinum members, kind of tell this story, and I'll throw it back up on the screen here, in their marketing, whether it's, offline or online, and we're targeting now business, Craig, just to crush the competition. Here are the areas right here that we're focused in on with this whole unique selling proposition formula. Okay, like I'm the agent with the buyer. So if a seller asks me, okay, Todd, why should I list my home with you over and above anybody else or any other option? Okay, and from a pure marketing standpoint, in a crowded field, my answers are pretty simple. Well, I'm the guy with the buyers. Okay, and my listings sell for more money over and above the average agent. We sell them faster. They're just more likely to sell. We can back all that up with statistical proof. Other people say that it's so, third-party endorsement, and then, of course, risk reversal. Look, if we don't sell your home, I'll buy it. So this little formula right here, in whole or in part, being told in our marketing, and this is a pretty good example here, that we've looked at many times before. Just a simple postcard that Warren uses in his farming marketing there, going after now business, is highly effective. And you can see he covers all parts of that ingredient. Okay, but yeah, so you can break it down into leveraging exactly what it is that most sellers want. Like if I want now business, I would always start with the cash offer ad. Okay, like I'm willing to buy. Craig, I'm willing to buy any home if it's at the right price for me. Okay, so if I'm really willing to do that, it only makes sense that I should tell that story on a regular basis. So I do prescribe to Platinum members, as you prescribe to me, that I should run, and our members should be advertising if they're indeed willing to do that. Just cash for your home. Guaranteed cash offer on your home in 24 hours. Whether I'm the one doing it or I've got other buyers in my database that will do it, or it's just another way to say the guaranteed sell program, that's a great ad to target now business. So if I can pick just 2 ads to run, Craig, number 1, that's it. That's number 1, cash for your home, guaranteed cash offer, cash offer at a price acceptable to you within 24 hours, guaranteed cash offer in your home in 24 hours. Cash for your home. That ad ran anywhere and everywhere in my marketplace. Pretty effective at getting those people that want to sell right now. Okay, and then I can expand out from there with the various marketing methods that we're all familiar with, and we're going to look at some of them right here. Telling in whole or in part, that little story right there, using this USP marketing formula that you've made famous, Craig. So. And that, how well we tell the story in our marketing, in our marketplace, how often we tell it, getting it out there into our marketplace, that's we can pretty much determine our level of business by that. So we got a lot of members that have become so good at it that it's on radio, it's on television, and they're doing quite well with it.
The guaranteed sale program is the most powerful. If you're too nervous to run that, you're nervous because you don't really understand the math behind the guaranteed sale program. And many of our members hesitate to run the guaranteed sale program, but what I always hear after the fact is, gee, I wish I had done it earlier. I don't think I've ever heard, well, I know I've never heard from a member, I'm glad I delayed implementation of the guaranteed sale program. But Todd, you and I do hear the opposite all the time, which is, I'm going to wait, I'm going to do that later. But if you are not going to implement the guaranteed sale program, at least you should offer some type of performance guarantee. I'll give you a couple of other suggestions. How about your home sold at your price, guaranteed, or I'll pay you the difference. The condition, of course, is you and the seller would have to agree on price. The maximum that you would contribute would be your listing commission, so you'd never lose money. Or your home sold in X amount of days, or I'll pay you $1,000 on closing, which is just a reduction of your commission. So the important thing to take away is you absolutely, absolutely must be offering a performance guarantee. If it's not the guaranteed sale program, use one of the watered-down, weaker versions of it. But while you're using one of the watered-down, weaker versions of the guaranteed sale program, you should really talk to Todd and some of our top members that are using the guaranteed sale program. What you'll discover once you understand how it works is it's not scary at all. And you should plaster your USP. When you discover which one works the best for you, you should plaster it everywhere. Your sign writers, your business cards, your stationery, your print, your online, it should be everywhere. It could be how you answer the phone at your office. Your home sold or will buy it. It needs to be part of your listing presentation, your buyer presentation. You see, everything that you do should be used to help you get buyers or sellers. So we, Todd, you mentioned a few minutes ago that we run ads to attract buyers. Well, you can use the buyers that you've attracted now to get the sellers. And the opposite is true. You can use the sellers that you've attracted by implementing this system. You can use the list of sellers as a way to attract the buyers. I mean, really, that's our job, right, is to attract people that want to buy and people that want to sell and put them together. And the way to make the most amount of money in real estate is not to split the commission. The best way to get along with the other agent is if you are the other agent. And that's the beauty of the guaranteed sale program, is you're offering in your marketplace to buy somebody else's house if they move up and they buy one of your listings. All of your sign writers can say, move up to this home and I'll buy your home for cash. So the buyer that has a best friend or relative in real estate understands that they must deal directly with you to get this big benefit. Well, they want to be loyal to their uncle or their friend in real estate, but they really want the benefits of your program. Well, guess what happens? They want the benefits of your program, you know, far more than the relationship with their friend, the realtor. So they end up doing business directly with you. So you're causing people that normally otherwise wouldn't have contacted you to do so. And you're double-ending your listings. Not all the time, but imagine if you could double-end, well, realistically with that program, I would say about a third of the listings you should be able to double-end. And then you can do it all over again, right? Because the person that moves up and buys your listing, you now list their home, and you do it all over again. Somebody moves up and buys their house. It's almost like you're operating with a different set of rules versus all of your competitors. Everybody else is doing the traditional thing. And here's a good analogy. Imagine if you were the only car dealership in your town that took trade-ins. Imagine that. Okay, every other car dealership in your city, if you want to buy a new car, the owner would have to figure out how to dispose of their existing car. So they'd have to, you know, sell it on Auto Trader or sell it to somebody they knew. They'd have that hassle. They'd have to figure out, well, before I could buy the new car from all these other dealerships, I need to get rid of my existing car. But at your dealership, they can trade the car in. You'll take their car in trade. So yeah, it's easy. I just drive the car in. The dealership takes it in trade, and I drive off the lot with the new car. That's really, in effect, what you're doing with the guaranteed sale program. You're going to take their home and trade. They can trade it in, just like trading in a car, and they walk out with their brand new home. No one else is offering it, and you are. Now, I know some of you get freaked out about this, and you're all worried about, well, what's going to happen if it doesn't sell? Look, I did this thousands of times. I only got stuck with 2, and I'm telling you how to not get stuck with any. Todd, you did it hundreds or thousands of times. How many did you get stuck with?
Same thing, 1 or 2 maybe max, and even really then, Craig, I mean, you don't have to buy those homes. You buy them more or less out of convenience to get some other deals done or create some testimonials or something like that. If you play by the rules, You know what? I like to say when people will, here's a good one, Craig. Some members will come into the program and say, well, I'm a little nervous about that guaranteed sale program there, Todd. You know, I got a house. I don't really want any more. And right now I'm more comfortable saying, you know, your home sold in 90 days or I'll sell it for free. And I'm like, well, just so you'll know, it's actually more risky doing that performance guarantee.
Yeah, because you could lose all your commission.
Yeah, it's actually less risky saying or marketing and advertising your home sold or I'll buy it. You know, because it's based on our rules, the way that you've outlined the program and set that up for everyone way back in the early 90s there, and we're so gracious to make it available.
I like the fact that the guaranteed sale program is scary, because what that means is when you implement it, your competitors will think the same way you think. That's why they're not going to copy you, because look, it takes Todd and I all we can do to get you guys to do it. So what chance does your competitor have who doesn't have our guidance? They don't have the benefit of our guidance. So that's what's great about this, is you're going to offer something really powerful that your competitors will not offer, because they'll be afraid to copy it, just like you're afraid of it.
It is true. It is true. All right. So back to your question to me, if I got, you know, dumped into a marketplace, parachuted in, and let's suppose, you know, I really don't have, you know, these superior stats and some of these images I've been throwing up on the screen here, you know, using some of these other guys. I can at least, you know, have a performance guarantee. You know, I can still say you're a home sold or I'll buy it because I know how that works. But at the very least, at the other side of the spectrum, you know, I understand there's two groups of seller prospects out there, those that are ready to sell their home now, get their home list now, and those that are maybe future business or a little longer time frame. It's easier for me to play in that sandbox and get that business, and then after I generate the leads, you know, that maybe are considering a move in a longer time frame, I can use my skill set to move that time frame up. So the ad, that would absolutely be a mainstay staple in all of my marketing and attempts to get listings would be, you know, find out what your home is worth online. And you know what, I'm amazed at the number of members that just don't have that ad running on a regular, nonstop basis. So on one hand, we've got, you know, cash for your home sold or I'll buy it, guaranteed cash offer on your, you know, on your home. That we got that marketing for the now business, and we also got over here on the left, you know, find out what your home is worth online. I mean, that ad is so good, Craig, and works so well that there are companies out there that are building themselves out of the ground, like Bold Leads and you know, and other companies trying to leverage that offer.
Yeah, Zillow. Hey, look, I tried to make this really clear to everybody. That is one of the best ads I ever ran. You know, find out what your home is worth online. Here's what I hear. What I've been hearing recently from our members is, but Craig, there's lots of places that offer that. You know, they can go to Zillow. There's lots of places where home sellers can find out what their home is worth. Well, yeah, the reason there's lots of places that offer that is because it's an offer that works. Like you said, entire companies have been built around that offer. Now, just because the seller can get information on what their home is worth on all these other places doesn't mean they're not going to respond to your ad as well. Right? Buyers can get information in all kinds of places. It doesn't mean they're not going to respond to your ad as well. If I'm a buyer, I can go to Realtor.com. I can go to a gazillion different websites. I can go to the local newspaper. I can drive through the neighborhoods. So, yeah, there's lots of ways for buyers and sellers to get information. We just got to make sure that we've got our ad out there making the best offer. And the best offer for sellers is, how can I find out, get an idea of what my house is worth without having to talk to a real estate agent? This whole idea of I can figure out or get an idea of what my home is worth without talking to anybody is appealing. And again, that's why there's all these different industries, all these different companies that have been built on this. Okay, so make sure that you are offering what it is that sellers want. If you take a look at what Dwayne Legate did with the House Buyer Network, Maybe you can explain to everybody the premise of that. Dwayne built an entire business on what it is that sellers want.
Mm-hmm. And he understood the marketplace really well enough to do it. You know, for example, if and this goes on in our market. Don't think it's not going on. A seller wakes up in the morning and they've got a pit in their stomach and they want to sell their house. They're like really anxious to sell. So they have come to the conclusion in their mind that real estate agents can't help them. That all they want to do is list a house. You know, so they put all the agents out there into this one bucket, and that is they just want to list my home. They don't have any buyers. And then, you know, real estate investors, oh my God, they don't want to buy my house either at what I need to sell it for because they only want to give me 50% on the dollar or something like that. So what am I going to do? Oh my God, what am I going to do? So like anybody that doesn't know what to do, they go to the internet and they type into the search bar on Google and, you know, whatever the search engine is, you know, buy my home for cash, sell my home really fast. And, you know, and Dwayne cornered that market, you know, with House Buyer Network. He would generate between 10,000, 20,000 seller leads in an uncrowded field and then turn around and give those leads, you know, for a fee to our Platinum members. And that worked well for upwards of 6 years. So,
now, Dwayne, sorry, Todd, just to be clear, the ad that you have circled there, find out what your home is worth online, that didn't run sometime. That ran every single day, and it ran in many, many places every single day. So if we want to have a simple life in real estate, you take an ad like this that works, and you run it in a bunch of places, and it just happens every single day without you. So this wasn't labor intensive. Okay, so one of the places I ran this was in the local newspaper. So here's all I had to do. I called the newspaper and say, yeah, run that every day. When I call you and say stop, that's when you stop. Otherwise, just run it every single day. Because I tested the ad. I knew what it cost me. I knew what I got from it, and it paid to run the thing every day. And if you scroll down a bit, there's another ad I want to, the area home sales report. Let's show that one. That one ran every single day as well.
Yep, right there.
Yep, home sellers, find out what the home down the street sold for. Visit area home sales report or call the 1-800 number. Okay, and now that message not only worked in a classified ad. If you go to the postcards, what do you think my #1 postcard was for attracting sellers? It was the 2 classified ads that we just looked at. On one side of the postcard, the area home sales report. On the flip side of the postcard, the online home evaluation. Once I determined what the winning message was, then I concentrated on, okay, what different mediums could I use? What are the different ways to communicate that? So the local paper is one. Okay, Google pay-per-click is another. Here's the postcard. Okay, now look at this. Area home sales report on one side. Flip it over, and there's the online home evaluation. Exact same campaign, but just using a different medium. So this is not complicated. And what did I do with the postcards? I sent out 20,000 of this exact same postcard every other week. I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't have to mess with it. Danielle, the printer, VXL, would print up 20,000 of them, and she would send them to the post office for me. And then Cindy in my office would pull off the leads, and then Carol would call the leads and set up the appointments, and then my agents would go out on the appointments. And then I had to sign the trade record sheets. That was my job. That was my part in it. Okay, I didn't have to speak to the sellers. I didn't have to meet with the sellers. Now, originally, I did it all. Originally, I was the guy that lugged the postcards. I was the one that pulled off the leads. I was the one that would call back the prospects, and I was the one to meet with the sellers. But I was able to slowly, over time, back myself out of the whole thing. So eventually, it just existed. It just is. Here's the question: how many homes could you sell if it had nothing to do with you? How many buyers could you work with if it had nothing to do with you? And how long could you do that for? How long could you make a lot of money for if it didn't require you doing too much? The answer is a pretty long time. Now, here's the opposite question, or the same question flipped around this way. How long can you keep doing what you're doing? Right? That's why you're part of this program, because you know, holy cow, I can't keep doing it this way because I'm either not making enough, or to make what I need to make, I have to sacrifice way too much, and I can't keep working that hard. So you're at the right place. So we got to figure out how to make not just a bit more money, but a lot more money, and slowly over time, you're going to do less and less and less. Make more and more and more, and do less and less and less. But it's simple stuff. This is not rocket science. Okay, a couple little ads running that work, running over and over and over again, and then taking that message and using different mediums. Now, if we were to play my television commercials, or we would play some of our top Platinum members' radio commercials, it would be the same message, but it's on radio or television instead of in a postcard or in a classified ad.
Yeah, I often say that. It's one of the things that we talk about at the conferences on these coaching calls, Craig, one-on-one with the members, is that your ability to really copy and implement these simple methods here, your ability to copy and implement them, will really determine how fast and how fat the member's business grows. So you look at your marketing systems as just that, marketing systems, lead generation systems, and you don't need 15 or 20 of these things going on out there. Francois McKay says it pretty well. He says, look, I don't do a lot of things, but I do a few things really, really well, and he does. He's been able to take the guaranteed sale program message right there in Lachine, just outside of Montreal, and get it permeated pretty much on 25,000 mailboxes every month. So 25,000 homeowners in his marketplace every month get right on their mailbox a bag that's got the guaranteed sale program on it. That's good for dozens of come list me's a month. The guy's doing upwards of 70 transactions a month, so it's obviously working really well. And and then you mentioned some of our other members doing great radio commercials. I talked to Carol Royce yesterday, and she's got her guaranteed sale program running on the radio right there in Phoenix, and it's brought her, again, dozens of come list me's a month as a result of it. So you don't have to do a lot of things, but over time, the thing that you are doing, you should get really good at, and the better you get at it, the more you'll get from it. So Craig, over the last 11 years as Platinum Coach, it's become pretty clear that on average, our members that have businesses that exceed $1 million a year in income, on average, it's about 7 measurable marketing systems, not 15 or 18 or 20, not 3 or 4, but on average about 7. That means some guys have a little bit more, some have a little bit less, and but one thing's for sure, they can measure their business from it. So in the guide, the handbook that I created for Platinum members that we give them when they come into the program here, on page 39, I lay out my top picks, for measurable marketing systems. There's 14 that I put in here, but I'm quick to say, look, you don't need 14. You just need to be really good at a few of these, okay? And it's a mixture of branded USP marketing, and it's a mixture of less branded, so that we're getting the business that we can get right now with superior marketing, those that are ready to list right now, as well as those operating in a longer time frame, thinking about moving, longer than 6 months. For obvious reasons, that business is easier to get if I'm there before my competition. So I want to talk about that for a minute, Craig, if it's okay with you, about low inventory marketplaces. A lot of members, they pull their heads out. They call me up and they complain why, I ran this ad, this guaranteed sell ad, blah, 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 and this and that in my marketplace. I got nothing. And, so they're full of complaints about, the low inventory marketplace. And they're trying to desperately to get business that it just may not be available to be gotten. So my recommendation is pretty simple. If you want business in a low inventory marketplace, then it's just way easier to get it before they're ready to list their house. Like get them earlier on in the process, and you can pretty much stack them deep because the process runs faster than it does in the slower market. So just because somebody shows up on an editorial ad that's 6 months down the road, for example, considering making a move, if it's a fast-paced market, low inventory levels, understand that that process usually gets expedited over what they say. And the same is true, or the opposite is true in a slower market. Guy can say, yeah, I'm thinking about 6 months, but if the marketplace is pretty slow, it's more or less a buyer's market, then that process usually gets moved back. So don't be fooled by people pressing number 2 or requesting report number 2 in a low inventory marketplace. Don't be fooled at all. That business can absolutely be expedited many times, and I think you're missing out on a lot of business if you're not running. Find out what your home is worth online, the area home sales report, editorial ads, especially, in a lower inventory marketplace. Craig, I don't know if you got anything to add on that, but I'm sure you probably concur.
Absolutely. Also, don't underestimate the fact that the seller might ask for report number 2 just because they're trying to push you into the future. They really have plans to move much sooner than that, but they don't want to indicate that. So, we can all relate to perhaps telling a salesperson an arbitrary time that's really longer than it is because they don't want to feel pressured. But
what was your
benefit, what you want to be is you want to be a hunter and you want to be a farmer at the same time. Okay. Too many times we focus on just being the hunter, and I get that. When you want to make, you need money right away, it's easy to focus on just going out there and looking for food today. All right, you're trying to hunt something, you're looking for the kill because you need food now, you need now money. But you also want to fill your pipeline with future prospects. That's why I really love the editorial ads. The editorial ads are different than the classified ads in this respect. With the classified ads, we can assume that if a buyer or seller is looking in the classified section, that they're a shopper. That means they're further along in the purchase process. That means they're ready to act. Now, the benefit with sellers that are ready to act is you and I don't have to follow up with them for that long. The downside with attracting sellers that are ready to act is many of them already have a relationship with a realtor. That means we're there too late. What I like about the editorial ads is an editorial ad will be responded to by not only a seller that's ready to sell right away, but also a seller that might be 3 months or 6 months out. That home seller will still respond to the editorial ads. They may not be looking in the classified section because they might not be that far along on the process. But they might be looking at the local paper and they happen upon your editorial ad, which looks like news, a news article, and they respond. So why do we want to do this? Because we want to fill our pipeline with people that are not quite ready to sell. The benefit is you get in there first before they gain a relationship with another realtor. If you do a good job of following up with these future prospects, when it comes time for them to act, they wouldn't consider using anyone else. You've created top-of-mind awareness. So we really need to do both in our business. We need to focus on campaigns that will attract now business and also run campaigns that will attract future business so we can fill the pipeline with prospects that are ready. They're not quite ready to act, but they will be in the near future.
Okay, so what was your favorite, best, all-time editorial ad, since we've been talking about those, that you seem to have the most consistent results from in
okay,
good
well, there's a bunch. I would say the costly home seller campaign. Okay, I don't know if you can show these. Are you able to go to the site and actually show everybody? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah. I'm clicking, Betty. I'm clicking like as fast as I can. And it's a good thing I know the coaching site very well, because I can show any ad. All right,
so right there, Campaign 1000. Now that comes with different headlines that we have available for you, but that's one you want to have in the rotation. Right below it, inspection. That's another good one. 1003. Okay, and 10 questions is good. Divorce is good. I mean, really, legal, that's probably not one of the better ones. Empty nester, let's go to that one for a second. Empty nester is good if you can find a publication that goes out to elderly people, seniors. Okay, so if you've got this actually has got to be a pretty good campaign for the Johnsons, I would think, right? Somebody that's downsizing.
Yeah, what are you saying? There's a bunch of seniors down in Fort Lauderdale?
Well, there might be. And but you got to hit them with the right publication. So this article in a publication that goes to seniors, okay, or you could get a list of all the senior citizens in your marketplace that own a 4-bedroom home. What might they be thinking of doing? Okay, go down to FSBO.
That's my all-time favorite.
Yeah, sure it is.
I list
it really works. But again, like the Guaranteed Sale Program, many of our members are afraid of the controversy that might go with that campaign. They're afraid of it. It's not that it doesn't work. They're just, they're not comfortable. They're perhaps worried about what the other realtors are going to think or what their broker is going to think. But one of the best editorial ads, if you can click on that right there, 1017, the FSBO program. Why? Well, look at you've got to think that 80% of sellers kind of fantasize about how great it would be to save the commission, right? So what do? We send them a report out that tells them about what they need to do to sell it themselves. The report that they get actually talks them out of doing it, right? It tells them the truth. So they end up listing their home with you. And even if they don't list their home with you, if they sell it for sale by owner, well, maybe you can pick up a buyer, right? Because it doesn't cost them anything to use you to buy their next home. Then go down to 27 tips, ID 1023. This is a good one. Nice positive headline. 27 quick and easy fix-ups to sell your home fast and for top dollar. Okay, so you're getting people that, somebody that wants to sell right now would respond, but also somebody that's thinking of selling their home 6 months from now would respond to that. If you're in a real strong seller's market, what's that mean? Strong seller's market means listings are hard to get. That means there's a lot of competition, and that's why you want to get sellers to raise their hand early in the process, because many of the sellers, by the time they get to you, you're too late. They already have a relationship with a realtor. So that's why I like this strategy of getting sellers that are not quite ready to list their home, because they haven't got a real estate agent.
Yeah, and you control the message. I mean, the follow-up, the pre-selling message, you're operating in a vacuum. I just can't stress that enough.
Well, look, in a strong market, I run ads like this. So let's say I've got an inventory of 100 sellers that I know 100% for sure they're going to list their home, but they're not quite ready yet. And you're one of those sellers, Todd. You responded to this ad a couple months ago, and you said, look, you responded, let's say, in November of last year, and you said, look, Craig, I'm not going to be listing my home until the spring. Give me a call at the beginning of May. Okay, so we're talking now the beginning of May, and you're getting ready to do this. Well, guess what? By now, I already have a buyer for your home. We don't even need to list this thing on MLS. I have buyers and I have sellers. I have buyers that aren't quite ready to buy and sellers that aren't quite ready to sell. I know what I'll do. I should put those guys together. So that's how you do it. This is how you hog all the commission. I don't need help from other agents to sell Todd's house. I already have all these buyers that will buy it. And I don't have to worry about competition. And plus, Todd doesn't want to list his house anyway. He wants to sell his house. So how about this language? Hey, Todd, I know there's a gazillionaire realtors in Atlanta that'd like to list your house. Would it be cool if I just brought over a buyer and we sell it? Because I think I have a buyer for your home. That's how I get Todd's business, is I have buyers, and I do have buyers, and I double end his listing. And I get the full 7 points. I don't have to split it with anybody. My buyer is extremely happy, because what did I say to my buyers? I say, I have a list of homes that haven't come on the market yet. If you commit to me, I will give you priority access to a list of homes that haven't even come on the market yet. And I keep that promise. I get them information on Todd's house, take them through. The house isn't even listed. No one else has a chance. My buyer gets a head start, proprietary list, has a chance to buy Todd's house. I get to double end it. And Todd, the seller, you're happy because your house sold with no hassle. First person through bought it. You got 100% of what you wanted, and it's all done. Everybody wins.
This was my number 2 ad right here, Craig, on the editorials, was the trade-up ad. We used to kill this in Marietta, Georgia, and 2 of the local papers there, with this headline and the other headline, too, that said 6 mistakes to avoid when moving to a larger home. So let me repeat that again, 6 mistakes to avoid when moving to a larger home. So if you're in a marketplace where predominantly people sell their home, buy a bigger one, sell their home, buy a bigger one, they're move up, move up, move up, you're going to want to run this ad.
I could imagine that when you ran that ad, that it drove your competitors crazy. Not because you were doing anything wrong. They were furious that you thought of this first.
Yeah,
well, look, it's the guaranteed sale program. Basically, it looks like a press release. It looks like news. This is newsworthy.
Yes, and it's nice to be, and I'm just amazed. Like our members, when you run these ads, they're typically the only one in their marketplace with such a thing. So it is operating in a vacuum, and this is how you beat all of these real estate agents. Oh, this is funny. I often tell the story, Craig, about going on listing appointments, and you did this too. I know you did, where you sit down at the kitchen table, and the seller's right across, but you look over on the refrigerator just a few feet away, and there's a calendar, and there's some other kind of magnets of stuff from other real estate agents.
Yep, a pen, notepads.
Yeah, there's all this stuff there. So this whole theory of staying in touch, I'm staying in touch, or I'm touching, or I'm reaching out, that's what I call inferior marketing if it lacks the ingredients that we've laid out today, like in good USP marketing offers. So the reason you or me and many of our members are sitting down at the kitchen table with the seller, all the while he has every day looking at other agents' materials on his refrigerator even, but he's talking to us, it's just because we've identified ourselves as we're the agents with the buyers. We're the agents that will sell your home for more money in less time than everyone else that you're talking to. So don't be fooled by these things that exist in the marketplace. And I know many of our members show up here, and that's kind of what they're used to doing. But that's the success formula, right? Members who show up here, they implement these things, like these ads that we're looking at here, these editorial ads, these other less branded marketing, creating a unique selling proposition, copying ours, and adding to that the formula, statistical USPs, risk reversal, third-party endorsement. Man, when you do that, then it's just as, okay, now it's limited to how fast you can tell that story, in what mediums you can get it to the marketplace. And that's how fast your business will grow here. So I want to encourage everybody to take advantage of it. But that's, in my opinion, Craig, those 2 ways, that's the 2 ways you get listings. You play in the sandbox of now business with superior marketing, and you play in the other sandbox of future business with less branded marketing. And you're pretty much the only person in that sandbox, but that's That's how you taught me to do it. That worked really well for me, propelled me to the top of the industry, listing 50, 60, 70, some months 80 homes without any corporate accounts, just regular Mr. and Miss Smith people calling up saying, hey, I want to talk to you about selling my house. That's how we did it.
Here's the way to think about it. Many members will say to me, well, Craig, I want to be number one at the game. How do I be number one at the game? And the answer sometimes surprises them. And the answer is play a different game. You don't want to be number one at that game. You want to play a totally different game, the game where you set the rules. Everyone else is struggling to be number one at that game, doing it the traditional way. Doing it the traditional way, I'll promise you, it'll get you at most incremental gains. But there's a lot of realtors that are rowing in the same boat 20 years later. Their business is no different. I go to the RE/MAX office right now. I see a lot of the same guys doing the same thing. Divorced, no further ahead financially. They're older looking, but nothing really changed because they made, an okay salary, whatever salary, income, and they spent it all. And the next year they had to do the same thing, and they keep working hard, but their situation never really improves. That's what playing the same game will get you. It'll get you more of the same. And you might be okay with more of the same, but that's not what this program's about. It's about playing a new game, not the same old game that everyone else is playing. Playing the game to your advantage. That's the great thing about playing your own game. If you can imagine inventing your own board game where you can set the rules, right? Like the Guaranteed Sale program. You invent the program. It's your program. You're not enslaved by anybody else's rules. These are your rules. You're setting up a unique program, a game that nobody else in your marketplace has, and you get to set up all the rules so you win. Las Vegas sets the rules. Okay, they set the rules. You go to Las Vegas, and here's what's going to happen. Most of the time you're going to lose because they set the rules. So you lose. That's what's going to happen. You're going to go there, and you're going to lose, and you're going to say, well, I had fun at least. It was a good time. But you expect to go and lose, and that's how they've set up the game. Well, you can set up your business with your rules. The best thing to do is to always look at what everyone else is doing and say, how can I do the opposite of that? All the successes I've ever had in real estate have been by not doing what everyone else is doing. Okay, everybody else is doing a traditional open house, so here's how I'm going to set my rules and not do a traditional open house.
Yeah, we did the same thing. We did the same thing with getting referrals, where instead of just running around begging for referrals, we create a systematic approach to getting them by doing something that we're involved, just basically exploiting the worthy cause that most of us are involved in anyway. Craig, I'm amazed at the members here. They make that give away money. They just do. It's what they do. They are involved in something. Their local church, their school, their charity of some kind, and I remind them, like, you probably want to, you'd like to give more money to that organization, right? Well, yeah, of course. Well, then get other people involved in it, and leverage that in your referral marketing. So, I threw that up on the screen here. So, yeah, pretty much everything that we've got going here, we know is superior and it's better, and it's doing almost the opposite of what everybody else is doing, and that's how we've been successful at it, and that's how our members remain successful at it. So, and I think you want to apply that approach to just about everything that we did. Like you were the first guy that I know of in the industry that decided that an inside sales agent position would be good. Where instead of cold calling and chasing down leads or calling from the phone book or whatever else, sweat hogs and all that crap that was being taught at the time, you simply told me, no, Todd. If you've got an overflow of leads, just delegate the leads to someone that's what they do. They just follow up with the leads, using this script, and you're going to be able to create appointments that you can delegate, cherry pick, and delegate to others. So It's been fun to watch over the last 20 years, dude, as all of this stuff continues to flourish. But why is it? Why is it that now, here we are 20 years later, from when I first met you, that all of this stuff still works far better than anything else on the market?
Because they're universal business principles, and they'll work another 20 years now. From now, we'll still be talking about what works, because these ideas, these concepts and methodologies are evergreen. Okay, what people want, what buyers want, and what sellers want hasn't changed in the last 100 years, and it won't change. We're addressing what it is that people really want. We're making it easy and more desirable for prospects to do business with us. None of what we teach is difficult. Okay, the difficult part is getting you to accept it and getting you to implement it. It needs to be done in a certain order. You should be tackling your to-do list based on which of these recommendations that we've given you will cause you the most leverage in your business. What we do not want you to do is become paralyzed into inaction by trying to do too much at once, because that'll just freak you out. But you take this one step at a time. We do have a tendency to overestimate what we can accomplish in a day or a week, but we also have a tendency to underestimate what we can accomplish in a year. Okay, now, you should take comfort in the fact that you're in a program here with hundreds, there's now over 200 Platinum members that are successfully doing the thing that you want to do. So, it's good to talk to other people that are ahead of you and doing the things that you want to do. Because then it's not just about, these crazy ideas that Craig and Todd talk about. It's the fact that your peers are doing those things. So you want to make sure that you come to all the conferences, you attend all the webinars, and you really plug yourself into this network. On that note, maybe we should take some questions and comments, Todd.
Yep. I just typed that up there. Let me go ahead and tell everybody what to do here. If you have a question, I would prefer that you raise your hand using the GoToMeeting control panel there, and I'll open up your microphone, and we can take your question live. We can chit-chat about it.
Todd, while you're taking audio questions, are you able to set me up so I can see the chat questions? Because I can be reading the chats while you're taking the audios.
Oh, man, you're asking me to multitask, dude.
Yeah, well, I don't know what you've got me set up as, but I can't see the questions.
Okay. I'll figure it out here momentarily. But, yeah, if you got a question there, go ahead and use the control panel right there on the upper right-hand corner of your monitor to type in your question or raise your hand, and that sort of thing, and I'll open up your microphone, and we'll do that. So Mr. Bill Watson has a question here, so I'm gonna open up your microphone, Bill, so you can ask Craig, and then I'm gonna see if I can work on that, Craig, so you can.
Yeah, I probably have to be a moderator or a panelist or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, Bill, how you doing?
Hey guys, how you doing?
What's going on in Colorado in addition to all this marijuana smoking?
You mean the Mile High City?
Mm-hmm.
We're selling a lot of real estate. So that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. Market's hot? Is it a seller's market?
Definitely. Definitely. I mean, we're experiencing the same thing. Everybody that I talk to tells me that their market is unique, right, that they've got low inventory levels. Well, we've got low inventory levels, and we've had them now for about a year and a half. But it's been, I mean, it's good. You just don't keep your inventory around very long. So, and our sellers are happy because their equity is through the roof, and all the people that used to be distressed are now in equity positions in many cases, and so it's good. Craig, I really didn't have a question. I just wanted to make a comment. Since I first got involved with you in 2005, we went right to the unique selling proposition of your home sold at a price acceptable to you, guaranteed, or we'll buy it. And I've said it before, is that the reason that they call me is not the reason that they hire me. And so I would encourage everybody on the phone call that if you don't have a unique selling proposition, that really between today and by Monday morning, that should be top priority, because that is clearly those are our talking points that separate us from every single listing appointment that we ever go on, whether it's a guaranteed sale to sell or buy their home if it doesn't sell. But the real strength of the program is when I get to that part of the listing presentation that says, a regular realtor can only talk to 20% of the market, but because of our guaranteed sale plan, we can talk to 100% of the market. And if we have somebody that wants to buy your home and they have a house to sell, if we can meet price and terms, we'll guarantee their sale and they can make a non-contingent offer on your house. And they're not used to hearing that. And it's really made a big difference in my business, from day one. And now we always have a mantra. We always are who we are. And it is literally posted everywhere that that we go. Even with now working the expired market and the for sale by owner market. I mean, it gives us something to talk about that nobody else is talking about. So you guys continue to just do so much for my business, and I just can't thank you enough. But I just wanted to encourage anybody on this call that if you don't have a USP, you stop everything and get that done so that you know who you are moving forward in your market.
All right, well said, Bill. Thank you for those comments. That's Bill Watson, long-term member in Denver, Colorado, RE/MAX agent. I've got a couple of chat questions here. Here's one from Nazira Jamal. And Nazira is saying, well, what do you do, or what do you say to the seller since you have the buyer when the sellers, when they say, well, cut your commission in half? Well, look, who's asking you to cut the commission in half, the buyer or the seller? The seller might say, well, look, you didn't do any work, right? You just brought the buyer along here, and you didn't have any marketing costs, and you're selling my house in one day. Here's the answer. Well, Mr. Seller, I've done lots of work. I've been in real estate for 15 or 20 years to get myself in this position that I'm able to bring a buyer to your home so you don't have to go through months and months and months of having your home on the market. So you should be paying more to me for selling your house without all that hassle, not less. Okay, and that is true. That's what they're paying for. And the buyers doesn't pay anything, so they don't have to worry about what commission you're making. It's the seller that pays the fee. But I think it's a great service to the seller that they don't have to go through the traditional regular rigmarole, that you're able to bring them a buyer right away. Arguably, that's worth more, 7 or 8%. So you frame it that way. Okay, Mary Vargo is asking this, Todd. Todd, being dropped into a brand new city, which area would you send your postcards to? What's your thoughts on that? And I wanted to make sure everyone, I wanted to answer that one. First, I'll give you a crack at it here, Todd. But I want to make sure that everyone has access or knows about that special service that Leon has, the IMS site. And that's a great way, it interfaces with your MLS, and it's a great way for all of you to determine very quickly where to send your postcards to. Todd, are you able to give me control of this webinar for a second?
Of course I am there, Mr. Proctor.
Okay.
I'm going to make you the presenter.
Okay, thank you very much.
You are the presenter.
Okay, boom. Okay, so here we are on the site.
Leon's looking pretty good there.
Yeah, there's Leon. He's looking good. He's got a wig on. He's got some makeup. But I think you all know Leon D'Ancona. He owns this company, realestatestatistics.com, and he's got me set up in a demo site for Toronto. Okay, so let's just check this out. So I'm going to log in, boom, for Toronto. And Mary's question is, where do I send the postcards to? So you can get this for your city. So that's for Toronto. So I'm in Newmarket, so I'm going to go to city. It's going to pull up Newmarket, okay, alphabetically. So I go, where's Newmarket here? Newmarket right here. Select entries, boom. This is how easy it is, Mary. you go to turnover. Okay, highest turnover streets in Newmarket, right? That's where we want to send our postcards to. And here's your answer. So in Newmarket, 30.2% of the sales are in 9.9% of the streets, and here's the streets. I don't have to think about where I'm going to send the postcards now. Obviously, we want to send our postcards to the streets that have the highest turnover. Okay, so this is something you all are probably interested in. This program, by the way, is $29 a month, I believe. Let me see if I can find the order form here.
He's got a broker version, got a broker owner version too. That's a lot more money than that, but I would think everybody would have at least this subscription here, which is whatever it is, $25 a month. Is it 20 or 25?
It's 29. I think the site to go to register for this is, I think it is Quantum Leap System. That's it right there. QLSSystemstats.com. Okay, so go to QLSSystemstats.com, and you can apply right there. QLSystemstats.com.
QLSystemstats.
QLSystemstats.com. Let's do it one more time. Make sure everybody gets this. QLSystemstats.com. And it says we need to verify that you're a member of the Craig Proctor Coaching Group, which you all are, and you fill this in. They verify with us that you're a member in good standing, and boom. This is going to interface with your MLS, and it will allow you to do a lot of wonderful things. So, Mary, I hope that makes it easy, but we don't have to guess. We're going to know exactly the best places.
Yeah, that should be a mainstay, especially if you're a marketer, direct mailing, farming. People ask me regularly, Craig, each week, what do I do with these just sold cards? They want to send them to houses around the listing that they just sold. I'm like, well, wait a second. You want to send it to people that you know are most interested in selling, and that includes the seller prospects in your database, expired listings, for sale by owners, and the highest turnover streets around the listing versus just throwing them out the window to people whether you don't know if they're interested in making a move or not. So just to get that out there. Hey, now we use the broker version on this, Craig. We use it weekly in recruiting for our real estate company. It identifies agents by volume, transactions, and that sort of thing. So, but that's a lot more money to get that version. It does everything, kitchen sink. But at least this right here, to know how to target market, I would recommend every Platinum member do that. As a matter of fact, I just broadcasted it to all the members under QLSystemstats.com. I just sent that to as a chat to everybody in your GoToWebinar control panel.
The top agent in Toronto sold 560 homes in the last 12 months. The next top agent, 369, 351, and then look how it drops off. So in Toronto, like most marketplaces, let's see here. There were 6,889 realtors that did one transaction. 4,379 realtors did two transactions. So pretty sad. All right, I'll let you take control of this again.
All right, I'll flip it back over here, and I'm going to open up Vic's microphone because Vic has a question. Vic?
Yeah, I have a couple questions, please. One is regarding the listings. I'm calling a lot of sellers from Zillow and Bold Lead and Commissioning. I want to know, besides the postcards and I tried editorial, most of them I got good leads, but I didn't get any listings. Any other suggestion to get listings also? I'm going to try to do the find out what your home is worth in the newspaper. I'm going to try to put it every day. Any other suggestion?
Well, Mr. Vic, let's back up just a hair. So you're telling me that you've gotten a lot of leads from your editorial ads and other marketing and things like that, but you haven't been able to convert a lot of them to clients.
Yes, that's true.
Are they telling you that they're interested in making a move, just maybe not right now?
Well, there were a couple of them they said, but they were committed to agents. Most of them, they were future business.
Okay, so that's great. I mean, that's what you want. You want people that are interested in making a move. Are you effectively following up with them, though?
I did for a few months, and then I stopped calling them.
All right, so let's make sure we understand that, because if a guy says, look, yeah, I'm considering making a move, but just not right now, maybe 6 months, 8 months, or a year down the road, then yeah, you're going to have to follow up with them, several months later. So don't give up on those things too soon, dude, because it's like farming. You know that I got a farm up there in Illinois. The farmer grows corn and soybean on it, and it takes him months just to prepare the land to be planted, and then he plants it, and then he shows up months later to get his crops out, and then it's several months later for him to get paid. But when they get paid, trust me, it's a freaking lot of money. So I wouldn't give up too soon on those leads. Now, you asked about bold leads, and you know what? I have no personal experience with bold leads. So Lester we had some members, including Lester, that was having some good results with these guys, and they were doing good work. So we said, you know what? Let's invite them to the conference, and let's give them a shot. Let them share what they're doing with our members, platinum members, and see who might be interested in taking them up on their offer. And the early reports are that it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Craig, I think that's what you've heard.
Yep, that's the report. We've got Smart Zip, we've got Bold Leads. I mean, we're trying to bring in vendors that we find our members are having success with. But look, Vic, we know you want sellers, and I would recommend that you exhaust everything that we offer here first of all.
Yes.
Everything that we've talked about here today. I know you're sending out postcards. I assume you're running classified ads.
No,
I assume you're running. Okay, are you running editorial ads?
Yes, I was running and I stopped actually.
Do you have sign riders about your guaranteed sale program and all your listings?
Yes, I have it.
Okay.
5 of my listings, they have it.
All right. Are you running any radio or television commercials?
TV, yes. TV, and I'm in the newspaper, but mostly I'm putting my listings there.
What's working the best for you, Vic, of all that?
Commissioning, TV a little bit, and newspaper, and also I got it from Zillow.
Okay, using Zillow. Yep, we've got a couple of our members that are having good success with that. Well, look, I would look at all the stuff that you're doing and see if you can make some of that work even better.
Okay.
Could you make some of what that's already working? Could you make it even work better than it is?
Yeah, I'm going to work on it. Yes.
Because you don't need to do a billion different things. If we take a look at anybody that's like super successful, take a look at people that are really, really good at what they do and they become super successful. It's usually because they've perfected a few things that they do really, really well. If you take a look at Warren Buffett, okay, the wealthiest man in the world, or either one or two. There's that guy in Mexico that's kind of up there as well, and Bill Gates as well. But all of these guys have very simple things that they do over and over and over again. They're very, very good at it. And that's different than most people. Most people are all over the place. You don't want to be one of those guys. You want to quickly figure out what works the best and do a lot of it over and over and over again, rather than being confused by trying to do a whole bunch of things that don't work as well.
Okay.
And, unfortunately, the way we figure out what works the best is we have to do a lot of stuff that doesn't work to find out what works the best.
That's right.
In a way, we do kind of fail our way to success.
That's right.
Right? Like you only know your best ads because you ran a whole bunch of other ads that didn't work as well.
That's true.
And that's what you did with your listing presentation, right? Your listing presentation is better today than it was a year ago because you experimented with a bunch of things in your listing presentation that didn't work as well as what you're saying today. So testing is very, very important. Even when something doesn't work as, the way we want, it's part of the learning process. The mistake would be, though, is once we do the testing, we do the learning, is to not continue doing what works the best. And what I heard Todd say today is you want to make sure that you've really exhausted what works the best. Like you really go into everything that's working and you try to optimize that to get the absolute most out of it. So it might not be that you need to do more different things. It might just be that you need to just refocus your efforts on what you're already doing that works to do it more, to make it work even better.
The follow-up, I think I need an ISA because I'm just doing like one first phone call, and the second I don't have time, so many leads,
Okay, so there you go. So you might not need more leads. You see, that's the mistake Todd and I made earlier, and we made earlier in the career, right? We weren't efficient with the leads. So our answer was, well, let's just turn up the volume. Let's just generate more leads to compensate for our inefficiency with the leads.
Mm.
And you've heard Todd talk about that conversation I had with him many years ago. And I asked, Todd was going on bragging about how many homes he sold that month. He sold 50 homes. Well, that is something to brag about. 50 homes, that's a lot. But I asked Todd, how many leads did you generate that month to sell the 50 homes? He said about 1,000. And do you remember what I said to him? I said, that really sucks. And he was kind of taken back by that. He goes, well, what do you mean it kind of sucks? Well, to have to generate 1,000 leads to sell 50 homes seems to be kind of inefficient. So what Todd focused on was how could he sell 100 homes a month but not have to generate 1,000 leads to do it. So he had to tighten up in his business what happened when the leads came in. And that might be your biggest opportunity. You may be focusing in the wrong area for maximum improvement. You might get the biggest improvement by, instead of focusing on generating more leads, instead of doing that, focus on being more efficient with the abundance of leads that are already coming in.
That's right.
You see, a lot of times when a member asks us, this is a question Todd and I get all the time. They'll say, hey, Todd and Craig, if there's one thing that I could do to make a tremendous difference in my business, to double or triple my income, if there's one thing I could do, what would that be? Well, really what they're saying is, Todd and Craig, could you please give me a easy answer to a complex problem? Well, guess what? There is no easy answer to a complex problem. The way we need to solve a complex problem is with a complex solution. So what you're saying is, I want to sell more homes, and the easiest way to do that is just to run some more ads, but it may be more complex than that. It may be the complexity of looking at what happens to the leads in your business. If Todd and I were to follow you around and we were to watch what happens with the leads that come to you right now, do you think maybe we could do a better job converting what you already have? Maybe that's the biggest area of improvement for you. Let me give you a quick example. Vic, you know James McDonald, he runs around and he does these free half-day seminars for us, right?
Yes.
Okay, so for years our focus was, well, we need to get more agents, more realtors to come to the free half-day seminars. That was our focus. But then we realized that only about 25% of the realtors that would register for the free event would actually show up. But our focus was always, well, gee, we got to get more. We got to get more agents to register. That was not the opportunity, was it? The opportunity was we didn't need any more realtors registering. We just need to do a better job following up with the realtors that had already registered to make sure they understood the benefits of attending. How many of us on the webinar today might have that problem? No, for some of you, you may well not be generating enough leads. You may need to generate more leads. But for others, you might already be living in abundance, generating lots of leads, and in a way, what I hear you saying, Vic, is I want to generate more leads, but that might make the problem even worse because you're already saying to me, I can't follow up with the ones I've got.
That's right.
So I would say a major opportunity for you is to fix that problem first.
Okay.
In other words, it would be a waste of time and money for you to generate more leads because you can't even handle the leads you already have.
And what do you suggest?
I suggest that you're going to cherry pick the very best leads yourself, and you're going to spend some of your time training this other person that's going to help you. They're going to get the B and C leads, and you're going to get the A leads. Now, when you train this new person, it should not slow you down at all because you're going to use the three-way option on your phone, and as you're making the phone calls to your leads, just like you always do, this new person that you hire is going to listen to you make the calls. They're going to hear both sides of the conversation. So think of the good leverage there. While you're making the calls that you're already making, you're also training the new person. The best leads will go to you, and the leads, the B and C leads that you don't have time to follow up with, will now be followed up by your new inside sales agent. Now, at some point, your inside sales agent will become so busy they won't even be able to call the leads, and then it's time to hire a second and a third and so on.
Okay.
Okay, so I want you, I mean, I don't know your business like you do, but I want you to think about this over the next few days. What is your biggest opportunity for improvement? Just like we did with the half-day seminars. The easy or the lazy man solution for us was, well, let's just run some more ads and get more realtors to register for the free half-day. But since only 25% of the realtors that were registering were attending, clearly that wasn't the major opportunity. The major opportunity for us is we need to do a better job converting the leads that we already have. So I hope many of you listening to this right now can see that maybe this is what's going on in your business. Maybe generating more leads just causes more chaos. When in fact, the true opportunity or the biggest opportunity is to fine-tune what happens with the leads you're already generating.
Yes.
All right, good question though, Vic, and I know you're going to get that figured out. Let's go back to Todd.
Very much.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
All right. Well, Todd, he's gone into radio silence. Oh, there he is.
Yeah. Sorry about that, man. Just, yeah, I'm doing okay, man. I'm working pretty good here with this little clicker. I'm just not quite as fast. Remember, I'm from the South, so I'm a little slower than Andrew is. But we do have some chat questions here we probably need to address. So I'm going to ask you these questions, Craig. I'll let you answer them. Once going on a guaranteed sale USP appointment and you don't have a ton of listings, would you offer some of your brokerage listings for them to move up to or stick to your own listings?
Well, look, the best time to offer the guaranteed sale program is when you don't have a lot of listings because there's little chance they're going to move up and buy one of your properties. I'm just joking, but that is true, right? Look, I wouldn't be too worried about it. Really, the reason you're offering the guaranteed sale program is to get that meeting. You've succeeded. You're face-to-face at the kitchen table with them. Who cares if they don't move up? If they move up and buy one of your listings, great, but who cares if they don't? You can still show them how they're going to benefit by listing with you. You're so motivated to get their home sold, you'll actually buy someone else's house if they move up and buy theirs. So use the guaranteed sale program to get their listing.
Yeah, let's see. Here's the next one. When would you make an exception and offer the guaranteed sale program on other agents' listings?
It'd have to be a very easy to sell property. You know, maybe if it's a townhouse or a condo, low price property, something that I'm really, really confident that it'll sell. Also, you can change the rules as well. How about this? If you move, the guarantee works this way. Move up to any one of my listings, I'll guarantee you 95% of market value. Move up to somebody else's listing, I'll guarantee you 90% of market value. Same difference, right? Just offer a lower guarantee because you don't have the cushion of the double-ender commission.
Yeah, and everybody, well, I shouldn't say everybody. Most people here know that, we took the Guaranteed Sale program to a lot of builders in our marketplace on the guys that we could take their buyers that wanted to buy their product, and we would guarantee the sale of the buyer's home if they would buy from that builder. And I worked a deal with the builder that he would pay me a commission. It wasn't a full one, but a commission nonetheless on the homes that the buyer was buying from the builder. And then we worked in the difference into the buyer's house that we were indeed guaranteeing the sale of. And instead of 95%, it was 90% and things like that. And it was a great gig, until the market crashed here in Metro Atlanta. We'd worked our way up, Craig, to like 19 builder accounts. We were getting 3 or 4 referrals a day from builders in Metro Atlanta. And, of course, the marketplace quieted that. But I would encourage, especially when you understand the program, that Guaranteed Sale program, it can be leveraged a lot of ways, but at the end of the day, it's still your rules. Like, you write the rules on it. And there's no reason to take a lot of risk. People will want the program more than we're willing to give it.
Hey, Todd, I thought of something. I need some help here. I'm doing a free half-day seminar in Toronto on Tuesday, and I need some panelists. And I've got Pawan and a couple other guys coming up. But if you're in the Toronto area and you'd like to be on my panel, help endorse the program, I need a couple of our members in the Toronto area for an hour or so. This is going to be next Tuesday, May 6th, over by the airport. And the half-day goes from 9 to 1, but I just need the panel there from like 11 to 1. And then I'll take you out for lunch. So let me know if you can do that. You can just shoot Todd an email, and Todd will flip it over to me. But if you're in the Toronto area, you're having great success with the program, I could use your help because I'm going to be in front of a whole bunch of realtors in Toronto on Tuesday who, when I explain this to them, they're going to look at me like I'm from another planet, just like maybe you did when you first met me, or maybe you still do. And Todd, are you still there?
Yeah, man, I'm here. I just had it on mute there while I was typing. So, yeah, here's my email address for that. It's platinum@toddwalters.com. Platinum@toddwalters.com. Shoot me an email, and we'll get you lined up there to be on the panel in Toronto. And I want to encourage everyone to do it. Those are a lot of fun, especially, Craig, I'll take you up on the lunch offer. Those little luncheons and get-togethers with you are always beneficial as well as fun. So take Craig up on his offer.
Another keener I have coming on the panel is Asan from Richmond Hill, which is in my marketplace. I see he's got a bunch of questions in the chat here. We should probably get him live on the call here. Let's pull up Asan and on the audio there, Todd, if we can.
Oh, geez. Okay, let me see if I can find him.
EHSAN.
I got it right here. Okay, I'm going to open up your microphone there, Mr. Shaw. You there?
Hi, Craig. Hi, Todd.
Dan, are you ready for Tuesday?
Yeah, I'm ready this time.
Okay, good. Good. Well, it's your second time, so I know you're going to be an expert panelist. Hey, tell us what's going on in your business.
Well, I'm doing really good. I actually had a great year so far. The first quarter of 2014 has been great. And I just joined Platinum recently, and I had my first call with Todd. Already that had a big effect on my business. I started like my big referral system in my business that Todd helped me with. And I'm starting the branded postcards like you and Todd did. So I'm going to do like the first 2 weeks of the month unbranded and then the branded postcards. So I'm looking forward to that.
Hey, Asan, what I like about you is I really like your attitude and the fact that you just jump right on these ideas. You don't ask questions. You don't focus on all the reasons why it won't work. You're a very good implementer. And it's almost like when you got involved with the program, this resonated with you right away. It's like, there's something in our program that really struck a chord with you. I mean, you resonated with this. Maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Well, from the second I found this program, I kind of like I thought I found the secret to the answer to all my questions, because it's different and it's very unique, and it's a proven system. So I just got to copy it, so it's very easy. Like, I don't have to spend time going and creating all these contents that you spent 25 years and coming up with. I just got to put it into my systems, right? So that's what I really like about it, and it's a proven system, and you guys are always there to help us connect all the dots together.
Well, I think reading your comments here, it just really makes a lot of sense to you. Hey, tell us about what you work with your dad. Tell us about what you're doing that's working best to get listings right now.
The best way I'm getting listings right now is my unbranded postcards. I just get higher quality seller leads, but I started Facebook, and I just started bold leads from today. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, one of my questions was, how do I handle sellers that just say, as soon as you talk to them, they say, well, I'm just curious. Like, what would be a good way to handle one of those sellers?
Well, look, we need to determine by asking them questions whether there is some motivation, and perhaps they're just hiding behind that. No different than when you walk into a retail store and the salesperson says, can I help you? And you say, oh, I'm just looking around. Well, that doesn't make you a bad buyer. So you have to ask those probing questions to try to get through their defense mechanism to determine their true motivation and timing.
Yeah, okay.
So if they're a buyer, for example, here's a great question to ask. Well, Sandy, if the perfect home came on the market, are you in a position to act on that right now? Or when would you be in a position to act?
Okay. I have a question, Greg. What if they said, I'm just curious, and then you say, well, I have 331 buyers right now, and if I could guarantee to sell your home in writing at your price, or I'll buy it for cash, would that be interesting?
Right. Well, that's the flip opposite of the example I just gave you. You would say to a seller, if we had a seller that was willing to pay you your price and your possession date on your own schedule, would you be interested in that? Because we have over X amount of buyers. So for the buyer, you're saying, if the perfect home came on the market, when would you be in the position to act on that? For a seller, you're saying, if we had the perfect buyer that would pay you your price on your terms, are you in a position to act on that? Would that interest you?
Yeah.
Because if they say no, well, it's good to know that, right? That means even if you had the perfect buyer or the perfect seller, these prospects are not going to do anything. You probably know at that point that they're sincere about not moving.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, well, your focus right now, is it buyers or sellers or both?
Well, my main focus, I like everybody else, I love listings. I want to get the most listings in my market and have a big market share. But I think I could do a better job at getting buyers as well that have listings. So I'm targeting both of them, but I'm trying to kind of target on the market I want, like Richmond Hill. So I'm just doing a bunch of different things, and my main thing that's working is my postcards, unbranded postcards, and my signs. My for sale signs are doing it really good.
Okay, well, here's what I'd like you to do between now and Tuesday. Email me what's working the best to get sellers, and I'll show them to the audience on Tuesday, but I'll also critique it for you and show you how to make it even better.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Looking forward to it.
Okay, come hungry. Remember, we're going to go for lunch after. So
Okay.
next Tuesday, and we're over by the airport.
All
Okay,
right.
let's go back to Todd. We'll see who's next.
Okay, I think that that might be about it here. Let me see. First, make sure we got everybody that had their hand raised. If we didn't get to your question or we missed it, sorry. just send me an email to tw@toddwalters.com, tw@toddwalters.com, and I'll do my best to answer the thing. I made a good bit of notes while we were on our call today, Craig, so I've been trying to be diligent about taking these notes and sending it to everyone who is on the webinar. If you missed the webinar, they don't get my notes. But I've been trying to include it for everyone that did attend the webinars with you and I, first Thursday of every month. So I'll try to keep
I like that. So there's a consequence for not coming on live.
Oh, God, yeah. There should be a consequence. Oh, my God. We already know the commonalities among our most successful members. And they're engaged. I mean, that they're at the live events. They use the coaching site regularly. They send their marketing materials. They talk to their coach. And they're on our webinars. I mean, those are the people that do the best. The more consistent they are at that, the higher their income level. So it's not a big secret here. So we want to encourage everyone to engage more, not discourage it. You know, and telling people, oh, don't worry about it. You can just catch the webinar on the replay. Well, that's a discouragement, and is a direct descendant of lower income levels in our program. So the more people engage here, live and in person, the higher their income is. You know, so you can draw your own conclusion from that. So yeah, we want everybody at the conference in the seats. Matter of fact, we had a great time at the last conference here, Craig. That was a boatload of fun, and the next one's going to be, you know, as good, if not better. You know, we've already begun planning for that. So, but anyway, a good call today. That's a lot of information on these two different approaches to get listings and why it is the way it is, and tips on things that every member should be doing in their marketing to get, you know, more seller prospects. And if you'll adopt these methods here, and do what it is Craig and I are prescribing, you will get more listings, whether the marketplace is fast or slow, low inventory marketplaces or high inventory marketplaces, and grow your market share and make more money. And I got to tell you that having good listings, it's a staple for our members that are doing really well. So I'd work extra hard here to on these systems and these ads, find ways to make them work and get better at the converting. When you do get these leads that might not quite be ready to do something right now. And I'll help you with that. So if you need some extra help, here's what you do. Zip me an email at platinum@toddwalters.com, PLATINUM @toddwalters.com. Zip me an email. We'll get on the phone. We'll go to work on it. You, me, your coach, and we'll coach you right up there, make sure that you're benefiting from your participation here. And, you know, Craig, it's been a good year so far. And I'm looking forward to my daughter's graduation coming up in a few weeks so I can focus on work a little bit more. It's been crazy around my house.
Well, enjoy that. Time goes by pretty quickly, so you know, we got to enjoy those moments.
Yeah.
But we'll wrap it up for today, everyone. I want to thank everyone for being part of the program. Thanks, Todd, for doing a great job as always, and we'll hope to have you connect with Todd and your coach here, and let's get all your questions answered, and let's make 2014 a great year.
Thank you, Mr. Proctor. We'll talk to you guys soon. Go sell some houses. Thanks. Take care.